Ebonyi State light up and get set to avert COVID-19 outbreak, and the Commissioner for Information speak with Inside Business Africa in this focus. This is Inside Business Africa, Africa's business news and information leader. Hello, a very good day to you and thanks for joining us. My name is Kenneth Odushola Stevenson. This is Inside Business Africa, Africa's business news and information leader. We are in faraway southeast, where we'll be speaking with the Honorable Commissioner for Information, Mr. Orji, and he will be talking to us most importantly about this issue of COVID-19 and what is actually going on in Ebonyi State. And this focus, we also look at the possibility of what the infrastructure challenges are in that particular state and what the governor has been doing. Let me use this opportunity to bring in Mr. Orji to Inside Business Africa. Mr. Orji, thank you again for joining us on this very important edition of Inside Business Africa, where we'll be taking a look at the goings on in Ebonyi State.
Good evening.
Let me go straight to my first question. Now, Governor Umahi is one of the most vibrant governors around, and most importantly as a professional engineer. So we expect that everything in life that has been said is engineering, and which means that he must understand the human behavior. So let's talk about the person, Engineer Umahi, that you know and all of us.
As a matter of fact, you rightly said he's a distinguished governor. Indeed, he's a leader with great credentials. I can tell you that he's a man that God decorated and gave to Ebonyi people at this point in our history. Going by all the credentials, his leadership prowess and all of that, one can say that we are lucky as a people. 20 years ago, Ebonyi State was suffering from neglect, criminal neglect at that. Of course, this part of the world was really a totally neglected place, coming from the part of Enugu and coming from the part of Abia State. We came together as a neglected people, people full of inferiority complex because of the level of underdevelopment, infrastructural deficit and human capital deficit that we had at that time. And so we had successive governments, two civilian governors that came before him. And so he became the first deputy governor to become governor in the history of the whole world at the stiffest opposition of his boss. That was in 2015. And he became the third civilian deputy governor and the third civilian governor of Ebonyi State. So it is historic. And he came from the popular South community, Ubru community. And you know that in the whole Nigeria, Ubru is said to be the most popular South community. And Ebonyi State is said to be South of the nation. But at that time, it was dust of the nation. But what it means is that his coming is symbolic. Coming at a time there was economic recession. And now he became party chairman. That was his first political entrance. And became deputy governor and became governor. At the time that we had nothing. But today, Ebonyi State is a shining light. It's a signpost of excellence. Ebonyi State has been taken away from, the map of the third world states of the nation. Now we are contending with the first world states of the world. The area of infrastructure, in the area of environment, in the area of human capital development, in the area of selflessness in governance, in the area of real excellence in governance. And so I would say that it's a governor that has the 3 E's of leadership. He has education, he has the experience, he also has the exposure. And these are the 3 qualities that really have made him to be very, very distinguished. Now, in the area of exposure, he's the kind, when he goes out of the country and he sees anything development, he comes here to replicate it. He does that with passion. He does that with energy. He does that with vigor. He does that selflessly, just to ensure that our people are brought out from the shackles of poverty. And as I speak with you, I can say that we are really celebrating excellence in governance, celebrating transformation in governance.
Well, actually, Mr. Orji, we've actually gone around Ebonyi State. We've seen the cleanliness, we've seen the orderliness of how things have been done, and what is currently going on. Now, Ebonyi State, like it's been said, has not recorded any COVID-19, which may be due to the fact that the governor was prepared as soon as the thing broke in China, and which means that the precautionary measure has worked. Can you talk about the precautionary measure that has been put in place, and what is currently the situation with Ebonyi State?
In January, as a visionary governor, as a visionary leader, when the story about escalation of coronavirus in parts of the world came, he had to immediately, proactively set up a lot of structures. He had to first of all set up a committee in January, precisely on the 7th of January 2020. That time, the coronavirus had not escalated to Nigeria. But when it did escalate, the governor had put up a lot of structures. The governor had identified what we call the borders, entry and exit points for closure. The governor had also identified centers where he could establish this coronavirus isolation center, and they are in 3 places. At that point, the governor has also ordered for certain equipment should this escalate to Nigeria. As that was going on, we behold the coronavirus pandemic entered Nigeria. And when he did enter, particularly on the 24th day of March, where he made his first broadcast, issuing regulations, precautionary measures, proactively to ensure that our people would fight effectively the battle against coronavirus. And that is why I give you the good news that up to today we have not had any case. But consistently from that 24th day of March, 26th day of March, 28th day of March, and so on, the governor has been periodically, briefing public about his interventions, about regulations, updating the people of the do's and the don'ts. And I can tell you that on summary basis, that the governor also banned use of motorcycles, which is like a special regulation. The governor also directed that all social gatherings, all religious gatherings be banned. As I speak with you, no religious gatherings are going on, no burial, no church wedding, no naming ceremony, even burials of recent. The governor gave a window. That window is that from 8 to 1 p.m. people are allowed to bury their loved ones. Well, of course, on the regulation of the state government through my office. Now, apart from this, all the essential service centers, talking about the market and some other areas, they are actually allowed to operate. But you must observe the precautionary measures. Precautionary measures in the sense that you cannot come out from your house if you don't wear the face mask or handkerchief or a very white cloth, any cloth. That you must wear while you are outside. Again, I tell you that while in the market, washing of hand, even in the house, washing of hand, with sanitizers or with clean water and soap, is being encouraged. And that is the way to go. But our problem is the returnees. That is why, as I speak with you, the governor has ordered complete 100% lockdown of the entire state from 7 p.m. to 7 p.m. as I speak with you today. That he did in his broadcast. So from this evening, from 7 p.m. to 7 in the morning, all the borders, entry points will be closely locked down. And there will be minimal movement within the state. All markets will be closed from 7 p.m. to 7 in the morning. All essential service, no essential service is allowed to make any movement from this time. But from morning till 7, from 7 a.m. to 7 in the evening, you can freely move only within the state, freely move and go about your economic activities. That is the secret we have against other states that completely close down their state. Nobody moves out. But our target is the returnees. Target is the returnees because that is the story, that is the history. We have to look at the history, and that has been helping us a lot. If we hear anybody coming in, we immediately move in. So it's like a surprise if we see anybody coming into Ebonyi State without our knowledge. It's a surprise. And the governor has said today that henceforth, any person that comes in, that local government chairman that has that border area will be suspended, and appointee from that area will be removed from office, and the governor means it. So these are the precautionary measures the governor has taken. Let me tell you one thing. He's among the few governors that have also adopted a law, coronavirus law. We call it Ebonyi State Coronavirus and Other Dangerous Infectious Diseases and Related Matters Law 2020. And he has also passed into law what is called the Infectious Regulation Law 2020. And these are the two working documents being adopted and settled into law that we are using, of course, to punish offenders. And offenders are ranging from people who are breaching the rule of movement. And the rule of movement says that if you are caught and your vehicle will be impounded and you pay 5 million if it's a big vehicle like trucks, if it's a small vehicle or small car, you pay 2 million before you retrieve the vehicle. The governor will also have the option of auctioning the vehicle. So these are measures the governor has put in place. Also, fake information, fake news on coronavirus and related matters, you are subject to the laws of the state, and the law says that you go in for it. And so these are the necessary measures. Even the law on hoarding of foodstuff, food items for sale, whatsoever, hoarding of such because of coronavirus era pandemic, or inflating of price, hiking of price, is subject to the provisions of the law. That is to say, is an offense under the law. So these are critical issues that the governor has put in place to ensure that we move. And the important thing that he does not only make the laws, he does not only issue regulations and precautionary measures, he also goes himself to monitor. I remember a state that once said that one governor said, I'm going on voluntary isolation so that people will know that I can go on isolation. I will not mention the state, but in the case of the governor, he's not going on voluntary isolation. He's on the field, moving, walking the walk, talking the talk, to show compliance, to lead by example, that our people may be free after all. That is the goal, that is the target, that is the vision. That at the end we shall be together alive to sing the song and to share a story how we did overcome.
Now, infrastructure generally. Let's speak about infrastructure generally. Mr. Orji, you are an information person, so you need to understand also the fact that information is important, and messaging and the right messages is also important, because many things these days is visual. Things are seen. So now, can you talk about infrastructure development in Ebonyi State and the Midas touch on what the governor is doing to sustain this, even after he's gone? He's in his second time right now, so in about 3 years' time, he will not be here. So what kind of sustainable development he has put in place to ensure even the next person that comes will continue from that particular stripes?
The governor is connecting all the rural communities. Of course, it's liaising with development partners, with donor agencies, to ensure that we get all the rural roads constructed. The idea of the governor is that we needed to open up all the places to make for private sector, economy to thrive, to attract, development, that is scattered across the entire nooks and crannies of the state. And that is why today, as I speak with you, we are celebrating the neatest and strongest and smoothest road in the whole of Nigeria. We are celebrating that. As I'm speaking with you, we are celebrating Africa's biggest ecumenical center ever built by a government. It's bigger than the national ecumenical center in Abuja. Most beautiful, it's like heaven on earth. It has about 15,000 number seating capacity, the main ball, and it has a lot of facilities, including lifts and all of that. You need to see it. When you see it, the governor says that his idea is that wherever you are as an Ebonyian, you can turn back and look, even in the face of coronavirus pandemic. Well, once you turn back and look towards that ecumenical center, you ask God, I need this problem to be solved, and God will solve it, because he, like David, or like the father of Solomon, had to build a befitting worshiping center for God. This worshiping center is a multi-functional worshiping center, whereby even social functions that are very good is being entertained. You can do all that there. Now we have what is called President Muhammad Buhari, a light tunnel. This light tunnel is the biggest in Africa. We are not exaggerating, it's standing there for you to come and see. It's a 4-way light tunnel that shines, that has the greatest beautiful shining feature in the night, and you need to behold it. Now these multi-dimensional facility is connecting to our industrial facilities. We have the medical center that is connected to. We have the shopping mall. By the way, this shopping mall is the biggest shopping mall ever built by any government, whether of state government or federal government. In the history of Africa, I'm not exaggerating, it is housing more than 3,000 shops, modern shops. And I can tell you that it's bigger than even the ShopRite. It is almost 90% completion as I speak with you. So this multi-dimensional tunnel is linking to all these facilities. It's also linking by the way, through the international market. And I want to tell you that this international market is the biggest in the Southeast, having a link between the Trans-Sahara highways linking towards Cross River at the other end. So we're expecting that we could be having marketers from Ogoja, from Cross River, from even from Cameroon by the time the bridge between Nigeria and Cameroon is fixed. So it's Africa's Trans-Sahara Way. That is the place where this national market is located. Very beautiful, the most beautiful, if not one of the most beautiful in Africa, I tell you. You need to see it. And as I speak with you, the governor is doing what is called the ultra-modern stadium, in addition to the stadium that he fixed when he came on board. And that stadium that he fixed is the best in the Southeast. But he's building another ultra-modern stadium that is going to be one of the best in Nigeria. I am not exaggerating. Now, I tell you about the airport, the international airport that he's building. It's sitting on 4x4 kilometer land, having 3.5 runway. So it's fashioned after Abuja International Airport and that of Lagos. So it's going to be one of the best. The construction is solidly going on, so I speak with you. So these are the things that the governor has done. If I go to the area of health, you appreciate the governor also had to trace our priority areas, sectors. Health is one of them. Agriculture is one of them. I've talked about infrastructure, which has done extensively very well. In the area of health, apart from the virology center which he has built, that virology center actually does a lot in solving our Lassa fever problems and other states. Now this virology center also has been worked on to also help in solving the coronavirus problem. So as I speak with you, the virology center has been selected by the federal government as a center of excellence for the treatment those that have a coronavirus. But incidentally, as God will have it, because of the proactive nature of the governor, I can tell you that up to today we have not had a case. We have had more than 85 cases tested, and all of them proved negative. I will not tell you about cases from other states because we don't have the mandate to mention the value, the status of such cases. Now I'm talking about health, what he has done in the area of health. The governor also is building what is going to be one of the biggest colleges of medicine. That medicine is going to be a wonder because it's going to have a place for cure of issues of heart diseases, issues of diabetes, all those terminal diseases. You wouldn't have any need to go to India, to go to outside the country to get treated. We have all the facilities and the construction is ongoing. It's going to be a model hospital as I speak with you. So these are the things that the governor is doing, but summarily, he has done a lot to really ensure that he revamps the primary healthcare sector. Talking about the 171 wards in the state, he has ensured that all the primary healthcare centers are in place in all the wards. Now the secondary health care centers, talking about the general hospitals, that he has also ensured that they are either constructed or rehabilitated or completed as the case may be, because they started in the last regime. And so all the local government areas have general hospitals. Now the governor also is doing a lot in the area of tertiary hospital. I've mentioned the College of Medicine. I need to also tell you that he has done a lot to assist the Alex Ekwueme Teaching Hospital by giving them the biggest emergency complex. It's under construction nearing about 80%. So if I may go to agriculture, I tell you the way he came, he introduced what is called mechanization of agriculture and commercialization of agriculture. He had to also ensure that we go into what is called 1 man, 1 hectare, 1 woman, 1 hectare, 1 public servant, 1 hectare, 1 civil servant, 1 hectare. The idea is that nobody should be idle. You should have an alternative to your business, especially when you are not in agriculture. If you are a public servant, if you are a civil servant, you should have a second address that is in agriculture, because the law allows you, whether you're a lawyer, a civil servant, a public servant, even a governor, to have farm. So farm, you are not for any reason forbidden from having farm. So the governor is encouraging us through provision of facilities, through connection with even federal government and other donor agencies, interventions in the area of agriculture, to ensure that we have massive production of rice, massive production of maize, massive production of cassava. Of course, our advantage is in cassava and maize and all of that. But as I speak with you, we are also having an advantage in the area of what we call secondary production. That is issue of productions, like issue of having fertilizer company, having rice mill, to ensure that all that will be produced from the farm will be really processed. So processing companies are there to ensure that our farm produce are not wasted. They are produced, they are produced and processed for the benefit of the people of Ebonyi State. So I may also have to go to the area of solid mineral. We are having an advantage in solid mineral development. We have a lot of potentials. And so the government is also ensuring that we work with development partners, get investors, to see how they can help us develop our solid mineral, to ensure that we engage even our teaming youths, men and women, to ensure that they are into employment. This is not only the area where we are attracting investors. We are attracting investors in agriculture. We are attracting investors in commercial ventures. And I can tell you that a lot is happening in Ebonyi State. And I can tell you that the Ebonyi State has the lowest insecurity profile. Lowest insecurity profile. Do you know the reason? The security, because everybody is engaged. Everybody is engaged doing something. There's what is called second address system. There's also what is called the fact that Ebonyi State is like a construction site. Everywhere you go, you see people working, and when they are through for the day, they will go and sleep. And that is why even office holders, you are free to walk about. Commissioners drive themselves, because you are serving the people, and you feel free because you are delivering. Let me not bore you, but I can tell you on and on that the governor is the most excellent. In national politics, he has played with maturity. He does not believe in political party coloration. He believes that after elections comes governance. This governance is all inclusive governance. That means that everybody in Ebonyi, whether he's a PDP or APC, you're under him. And therefore, he should rule with the heart of a father that has many children. That's the way he thinks about politics. He also believes in one Nigeria. He also believes that Nigeria can one day get better. But by the way, let me tell you what is doing in the area of health, of power sector. I have never seen this. A situation whereby from 6 p.m. to 6 in the morning, there is power supply non-stop in Ebonyi State. I am not exaggerating. All the street lights are on from 6 to 6. Anybody can tell you, can testify this.
And finally, let me just take your last word on what's going on in Ebonyi State in terms of infrastructure development and many other things, and also to thank you and for giving us this opportunity to speak with you just on impromptu like this. But it's also important that we also understand the goings on around, and we will be back again to also look at a very comprehensive report on Ebonyi State, looking at infrastructure development. And also I'm told that the governor has been proposed for the CED magazine Governor of the Year, Infrastructure Governor of the Year. So that I believe that something is going to happen that will bring us to come and do a very important documentary. Thank you again for joining us. But your last word before we go.
That if this kind of person has the opportunity, of taking up leadership at the national level, the difference will be clear. I can tell our people, Nigerian people, that all hope is not lost. Nigeria may one day be correct when we get people like the governor of Ebonyi State. He's really an excellent man. He's doing very, very well.
Thank you again, Mr. Orji, for spending time to speak with us today on Inside Business Africa, Africa's business news and information leader.
Thank you.
We've been speaking with Mr. Orji, the Information Commissioner and Orientation in Ebonyi State, and he's been sharing his thought with us and what is currently going on in terms of the COVID-19 pandemic, infrastructure development in Ebonyi State. Watch out for a very comprehensive documentary that will be coming on Inside Business from that state. And also, the governor, being an engineer, he's been nominated for CED Magazine Infrastructure Governor of the Year 2020. Amid the novel COVID-19 pandemic and the impact on the well-being of people globally, including Nigerians, the management of Agritech, Nigeria's leading livestock poultry company, to give back to the communities in Ogun and Oyo State. The product, which will not only empower the people, will ensure in a couple of weeks the people of these communities will have enough chicken to feed.
We just need to appreciate Agritech for what they have done today.
We are trying to share that with the community, because if we have a business here, we want to make it also benefit of the community.
Agritech are partnering Oyo State in doing what the government have laid down.
So Agritech, as an organization, we are already partnering with them.
Just to pray for them, so they will go more up.
There is no request I ask from Agritech without prejudice.
Business rescue is a very key, especially in this era we have, and because a lot of businesses have been threatened due to the state of the economy of the nation, not only in Nigeria, globally, but it's only that in an underdeveloped or a developing country, it is more pronounced, especially when we have shortage of infrastructure, shortage of source of financing, we have instability of security, and we have instability of political terrain. A lot of factors threatens business and organization. So when we are looking at business rescue, we are talking about salvaging businesses from dying. Before now, we have something we call receivership and liquidation, and I'm very sorry to say that we have a lot of practitioners in this field that they are interested in liquidating companies. We believe and we agree with them that those organizations, those businesses, they are weak, and ordinarily probably they should be sent into liquidation. But we should be able to go further as a nation and as an organization to see how what can we do to revive these businesses? What can we do to revive this organization? We have a lot of businesses that pack out of Nigeria. I will not mention name, but if you are conversant with business in Nigeria, you will understand that we have some organizations that have moved out of the country because they can't cope.
It's been Kenneth Odushola Stevenson presenting Inside Business Africa. Thank you again for watching. See you next time.